Hey guys, this is Get to Know Your Shoe by Njeri, your favorite shoe designer, and today we talk about the Penny Loafer. So this is a simple black penny loafer, and a penny loafer is defined by the fact that it is a shoe, it's a strapless shoe. You don't need to strap anything. So it's just a simple slip in and out shoe. Secondly, after that, it has an apron. If you can look at it, it basically looks like an apron, aprons when you tie them on our waists. So it's basically a leather piece that is sewn on the upper of the shoe. So this is the apron, and we have the leather strap that we have here on the upper. So this is basically what defines a penny loafer. So I'm gonna give you a brief history of the penny loafer. The penny loafer dates back to 1857, where it was designed by a designer known as Raymond Lewis, and he designed this shoe for King George VI, that is back in London. So when he designed the shoe was known as the Harrow. Then eventually we had American tourists who used to go to London, and they noticed this shoe and they crossed it over to the Americas. In the Americas is where this shoe actually got to gain its popularity. So when it got to the Americas, there was this company in New Hampshire that adopted it and basically started designing it. And they are the one who introduced this leather strap that we have here, this that defines the penny loafer. So back then in the Americas, it used to be known as the Norwegian moccasin. So the funny fact about the name penny loafer, it was a slang. Like when it started gaining its popularity, amongst the university students and the rising class of white-collar workers, because that was during the rise of white-collar jobs. So we had the clerks, we had the lawyers, and basically all the people who work in the office. And the reason why they adopted this shoe is because it was actually known as the lazy shoe. It was basically a shoe that you just slip into and out of, and young people, you're energetic and everything, you just want to, just move on with the things. So this leather strap that you see here, it used to have a space enough to fit a penny. That's what they used to say. And that was back in the day when payphones were very popular. You remember the payphones, where to actually make a call, you had to slip in a penny in there. So they used to put a penny in this leather strap that we have here. And it used to be big enough to actually fit 2 pennies. So they just fit their pennies here, and when you need to make an emergency phone call, you just take your penny out of your penny loafer and put it into the payphone. And that is how it actually got to get its name, which is the penny loafer. So its popularity lasted all the way into the 1960s. Then it went away, and then it came back in the 1980s and the early 1990s. So when it came back in the early 1990s, it developed basically another variation of it. So that is when they removed the heel. As you can see here, I have this is a heel. The original penny loafer has a heel. So that is when we came to have the ones with zero drop, and they were mostly known as the moccasins or espadrilles. Or should I say espadrilles, however you want to pronounce it. So that was basically defined by the zero drop, the flat shoes. But as you can see, the influence still comes from the penny loafer. It still has its apron. As I said, what actually defines it is the apron that we have here. So you can see this is the apron, and it is joined together to this piece of leather with the gathers. And in my original penny loafer, it was still the same thing. It has an apron, but it is stitched together to the uppers with stitches, and this with gathers. So we came to have this variation. So the same way it crossed over to the Americas is actually the same way that it crossed over to Africa. So all the African students that used to study in the Americas, so when they came back home, they used to come back with these shoes, and just like that, its popularity peaked. And here in Africa, this shoe is still popular to date. Loafer shoes are very popular, especially the moccasins. They are very popular over here. So that is how they basically came to Africa. So basically, the stylish minimalism of the penny loafer allows it to actually cross from formal to casual wear. If you're looking for casual wear, you can basically put on your penny loafer easily, because it's very casual. It doesn't have laces and everything, so it crosses over for casual, and it still crosses over to official easily, considering that it's a leather shoe. It's simple. So as you say, it has a stylish minimalism. It's basically a minimal shoe, and it's easy to cross over to any style. So the loafer so far has since evolved into so many other things. So as I said, this is basically the original one that basically just has the apron and the leather strap that we have above here. But as shoes have kept on evolving, designers doing their thing, we have evolved the shoe into so many other styles. As you can see here, this is also a penny loafer. As you can see, it still has its apron, it still has its leather strap, but we have an additional buckle. This is purely for decorational purposes, but it still remains a penny loafer. Then I have another one here. When you look at it, this is still a penny loafer. It still has its apron, it still has its leather strap, but now it has tassels. So we call this a tasseled penny loafer. We have one like this that still has the apron of a penny loafer, but it does not have the leather strap. So you will find this is basically an infusion of a penny loafer and a side elastic slip-on, because as you can see, it has the side elastic. This is what defines a side elastic slip-on, and it has the loafer's apron. So this is still a loafer. We just basically call them tassel penny loafers. They're slip-on shoes, but it's a blend of both. Inspiration coming definitely from the penny loafer. And besides the leather, there are so many ways that we can basically. There are so many things we can do with this shoe. When you look at this is basically a mule. It is Ankara. It's not even leather. But you can see that its inspiration came from the penny loafer. With here, you can see the leather strap that we have above here. The leather strap. So this is basically a tasseled mule, but if it was a full shoe, it would have been a loafer. So the inspiration for this mule basically came from the penny loafer.
Penny loafer's apron, sema hiyo. Apron.
Penny loafers?
Your tie. See, you're telling people neck. Najua ni nini hiyo?
Hii ni leather strap tu. Inaitangwa leather strap.
Haya. That's it.